What's up, Pan-Africanists in the building? Thank you so much for your support, guys. I wish you knew how I really appreciate the support that you're showing me. Thank you for the big love. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the comments and also liking. So, guys, in today's video, we are going to talk about how Americans or what Americans are saying regarding Africa's growing confidence. That's the last thing that anyone ever expected. So, across the United States, there is a noticeable shift that is taking place in how Americans are responding to developments across Africa. From political speeches to economic policy decisions, Africa is increasingly projecting confidence on the global stage, and that change is drawing attention and also drawing massive debates and mixed reactions among the American people. So let's watch these videos and then I'll be back to do more analysis.
After watching ISOSpeed live stream,
Yes.
so what African countries would you like to visit?
First of all, I'd like to visit Ghana, Kenya, definitely South Africa.
You don't put Nigeria. Not Nigeria.
I don't know enough about Nigeria. There's not much information online. I look up tourism and
Oh, okay. Since you say you're going to be visiting these African countries, so which African teams are you going to be supporting at the World Cup?
I'm going to support USA, of course. And then there's 2 African countries I'm supporting. First is Ghana because I love their soccer team, and I like the way they celebrate goals. And then the other is South Africa. They'll be playing Mexico, and I have to support my Spanish heritage.
Okay. So Nigeria is not in your list. All these things you are mentioning, there's no Nigeria.
No, maybe I'll visit if I know more about tourism, but no, not on my list. None of them.
Okay.
No.
You've been mentioning Ghana this, Ghana that, Ghana this, Ghana that. Why? What is about Ghana that you really want to go and see or go and visit?
It's from what I've seen on iShow Stream. It just looks like the people are so welcoming, and when I watch the live feeds, it's just the food, the culture, it looks like a great environment.
Buckle up and listen to her.
Okay, I'm going to talk to you about my first time in Africa years ago. The moment I got to the hotel, I looked at the security guard there and noticed he didn't have a gun. And I was very uncomfortable with that because he was wearing a pair of sandals and no gun. They took me to my room. My door only had one lock. So I told the people at the hotel, I need a safe to hide my money in. This is not a safe place. So they brought me a little bitty safe that you could just carry around. And I said, all right, they must be trying to set me up. I know they're trying to set me up. So I stayed up that night and I went to sleep, got up that morning, and they called me for breakfast. I said, all right. So they're trying to lure me out of the room. So while I'm eating breakfast, they can come in and rob me, take all my money. So I put all my money in my pocket and left about 1,000 CDs on the table. And when I got back, the money was still there. In fact, the room was clean. Okay. Now, my point is this. I was never going to give them a chance. I was never going to give them, in my mind, a chance to prove that they were not going to do anything. Every turn, they were going to try something underhanded and low down. You see, that is how Black Americans are programmed to think. And it happens to us in our own country. Other groups think that way about us, whether we do something or not. And at that point, I had called my cousin and I said, hey, man, we got to change. We are wrong. When we come here with the wrong mindset. We should not be this way. Just because we're treated this way in our own country of birth doesn't mean that we have to act and behave the way that the oppressor behaves. So, my point in being is, because of those experiences, I even decided when I got home, I said, I'm not carrying a gun anymore. I'm not going to carry a weapon. I'm going to just give people the benefit of the doubt because I've seen better and I've learned better. All right. Thank you.
Let me know what you think.
Like, seeing I Show speak in Africa just lets me know I need to get to Africa. Like, real shit. It's been dope as fuck just seeing him interact with the people and like showing that it's not like everybody ain't running around naked in mud huts and shit like people be trying to say. I've been on that, but a lot of people don't know just how advanced Africa is. Like, Africa is the live stream of the world, bro. Like, a lot of the shit in your cell phones and all types of materials that shit come from Africa. That's why all these superpowers, when you got the USA, you got China, you got Russia, you got France, all these people are fighting for a foothold in Africa. Meanwhile, you got people over here telling us we don't need to associate with Africa because there's some people in Africa that don't like us. It's going to be people that don't like you wherever the fuck you go. You dig what I'm saying? On some real shit, it's going to be people no matter where you go that don't like you. There's no place in the world you can go where everybody gonna like you, especially if you a black American. Even here in black America, there are people that are black Americans that will not like you. So I don't get this whole we not fucking with nobody. It's like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. Meanwhile, everybody else is fighting, literally fighting like secret wars to get a foothold in Africa. Africa been extending its hand to black America for a minute. Like, hey, y'all can get some dual citizenship over here if you want. You know what I'm saying? And I find it kind of funny. Once Africa start offering dual citizenships, all of a sudden you had this FBA movement like, no, fuck Africa. It's so obvious what's going on. But it's also sad because you get to see in real time how easy it is to brainwash people and make them act against their own interests. But anyway, didn't mean to get off subject. From what I've been seeing with Speed, I can't wait to get to Africa. Real shit. I got an uncle that lived in Ghana for like 5 years and he loved it. But on some real shit though. Even though my uncle, like, he back here now, he ended up having to come back here. Some shit happened. He had to come back. He was there for 5 years. And I asked him, I was like, well, and him coming over here, he got fucked. They did him dirty. He got fucked out of some money. He got fucked out of some land and everything. And so he get back here and I'm just like, damn, that's kind of fucked up, Unc. I'm like, but would you go back? He said, I'm working on going back now. He said, the next time I go back, I'm not coming back. He was like, even though it was some bad shit that happened, he said, bad shit happened. Just like I'm saying, bad shit can happen no matter where you at. It's bad people everywhere. You got to keep your head on a swivel no matter where you go. But because we done dealt with the bullshit here, and I'm talking about black Americans, the bullshit that we deal with here, I feel like better equips us to go out in the world because we done been through so much shit. When we get out in the world, we done seen it all, done it all. We know how to deal with certain shit and handle certain situations.
Pan-African lifestyle.
We created Africa 101, the blueprint, the foundation, the guide that has helped hundreds of thousands of people start their journey home, becoming our best-selling book and a trusted resource we are proud of. But guidance is only part of the journey. Many of our people in the diaspora and on the continent face challenges when navigating opportunities, from investment to relocation. That's why we created Due Diligence Africa, a practical guide to evaluating people, places, and opportunities so you can pursue the African dream with confidence and clarity. If you're serious about Africa, travel, investment, relocation, citizenship, or coming home, start with the Essentials in Africa 101 and then learn the red flags and best practices for navigating the motherland with Due Diligence Africa. Get your copies of Africa 101 and Due Diligence Africa at panafricanlifestyle.com.
This is changing travel through Africa because it's changing the way people are seeing Africa, and you need to know this right now. I Show Speed recently completed his Cross Africa tour, and baby, The world was tuned in. Now, I personally did not know this guy, but he is a streamer, known in the world of streaming, a YouTuber, and his real name is Darren Watkins. But no, his African name now, because he was named through the Ghanaian official naming ceremony, Barima Kofi Akufo. So he went on a journey to explore 20 countries in Africa in 28 days, and he wanted to celebrate his birthday in Africa. This journey moved the world because what he was doing was essentially going in communities, going in cities, live streaming his experience and connecting with people at the root. Now, why does this matter when we talk about travel, but most importantly, travel to Africa? A lot of people still have this perception of Africa not being developed, and being able to follow IShowSpeed's journey, live stream, unedited, unfiltered, unchanged, being able to feel the reactions, to feel what he was feeling on the ground, to see what he was seeing on the ground while it was happening, really opened the eyes of so many people around the world. We're talking Europe, we're talking Africa, we're talking America, we're talking Asia, and so forth. People were able to dispel in real life and dismantle the narratives that they had about Africa, asking some questions like, are there developed cities there? What is life there? And people were actually able to see that. Personally, one thing that I really love from seeing this journey was the pure joy and the pure welcome that he felt in every single country that he went to. And I think at the core, this is a great message to send, and for people to actually know that when you go to communities, when you go to countries, having a respectful approach, willing to learn, willing to discover, not trying to change the narrative, but presenting it in the beautiful light that it is for what it is, you are more welcome, you are more accepted, and you are more likely to get more of what that country has to offer. That is what we mean when we talk about respectful travel, you know, actually being respectful of people. Overall, I think this tour is actually going to have a huge impact, not just on the way we perceive societies and nations that we don't necessarily know about or that we've had a specific perception about, but it's also going to change in a positive way the narrative that people have about Africa without having gone there. And I'm gonna tell you, if I hadn't been to Africa before, I would have been like, yes, I want to go to Africa now. But let me know, what did you think about this tour? Were you following IShowSpeed's tour? What was your biggest takeaway? Are you planning to go to Africa after having watched this tour? If yes, which country? Let me know in the comments below.
After watching Speed in every single African country in West Africa, every country is beautiful. But when those American people step on Ghanaian soul, their faces just light up. Like, they emanate brightness, joy, happiness. And I would really recommend that every African American person goes to Ghana just once. Africa is good energy, is good vibes. But if you want that peace, even I felt it on my own holiday, go to Ghana.
Africans really did not know that us Americans was over here talking about some, you better eat that food because kids in Africa would love to eat that food. Whole time they never knew that we were saying it. And the whole time they got food healthier than ours. God damn it. We ain't need no shit.
So guys, if you've been paying attention of late, you have already probably noticed that something feels of kind of different, you know, and I'm not talking about the headlines that barely makes it past 10 pages. I'm talking about Africa's tone changing, the posture, the confidence. And what about Americans? They are definitely reacting. The reaction within the American people is confusing, by the way, because they're wondering, why are African leaders saying no? Why are they rejecting aid? Why are they talking about partnerships instead of dependency? Okay, I don't know. So for so many years, Americans were used to one version of Africa, the struggling continent, the charity campaigns, the sad music, sad, you know, and their commercials, by the way. That's the Africa people were comfortable with because it fits the story. But now, clips are coming out left, right, center, and they don't match the script. We have so many people online, not just the Americans, the Europeans, but also Africans. We have them in these social media spaces, and they always come online and they talk about them staying, building Africa or building home. And so many of them have done, by the way. We also have leaders who come out. They talk about sovereignty, resources, dignity, name them. And we have the crowds that is cheering not for foreign approval, but for self-respect. And that's when the American reactions is divided. Because you'll have, on this other side, you have this type of Americans, younger people, they're like, what? Wait a minute. This is actually very inspiring, because for them they see a continent questioning global systems the same way Americans are questioning their governments, their tech companies, name them. So in this case, I will say that, by the time you come out and question something, it means that you recognize the language of independence and how it sounds. So for so many Americans, they recognize the language of independence because it sounds a lot like America First. It's just that it's being spoken in a different accent. But then there's this other side of the American people, and this is where the media starts talking slower, where the experts starts frowning, where words like instability, risk, and concern get thrown around, because confidence is dangerous when it can't be controlled. I don't know, why do you think that Africans are starting to say that they want fair trade and not lectures? They are actually saying that their resources should benefit their own people or our own people. And also Africans are saying that they don't need permission to choose partners, okay? And that it is eating the American government and these politicians very hard. Of course, Americans are watching from home and they can actually feel it, because you'll see them commenting and they'll be like, why does this sound familiar? Why does the media sound scared? And why do they only support sovereignty when they say it? And that's the moment when, these clips that we just heard is turning into realization, because what is happening in Africa at the moment is not isolation, it's assertion. And Americans, especially those that are already skeptical of global elites, are starting to see Africa less as a charity case and more as a mirror that reflects something uncomfortable. And I don't know what happens when people stop asking for approval, So don't get this story kind of twisted, because this is not an anti-America. In fact, a lot of Americans respect it and they see confidence as strength. They respect leaders who stand their ground and admire people who say, we can do this ourselves, right? And here is actually, the off part, because no one expected that, Americans will come out and say something like this, I mean, not from Americans, not from the internet, not from a generation that was told Africa would always be catching up. But imagine, confidence has changed like everything. And once people see it, they can't unsee it, by the way. So for real, Americans are shocked. Some with curiosity, some with respect, some with fear, but one thing is clear: Africa is not waiting anymore, and the world, including America, is adjusting to that reality in real time. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.